Why you shouldn't settle for a man that likes other girls' pictures on Instagram. To elaborate, I'm talking about bomb pictures, thirst traps, bikini pictures, individual pictures. I'm not talking about a random picture of a chick's dog. When your boyfriend likes a girl's picture on Instagram, he's letting her and everybody that follows her knows that he likes what he sees. Personally, when a guy with a girlfriend likes one of my Instagram pictures, I literally internally cringe. It's embarrassing. It affects the girlfriends in two ways. First of all, it's hurtful because the girlfriend is going to be comparing herself to that girl. And it's publicly embarrassing because now that girl who posted the picture and all of her followers know that your boyfriend likes her shit. It's a basic respect thing. If you're in a relationship, you should not be liking random chicks' thirst traps. And if that girl is your boyfriend's friend, great. You can still be friends without liking her thirst traps. The fuck? It's funny because most of the times when guys are liking other girls' Instagram pictures, they also tell their girlfriend that they're not allowed to post scandalous or bikini pictures. So he's allowed to like these random ass pictures, but she's not allowed to even post a picture in a bathing suit. Now let's talk about how we get our boyfriends to stop doing this. You should literally only have to bring it up once by being like, hey babe, I don't really like it when you like other girls' pictures. If he has a problem with that, he's basically saying that he cares more about liking random girls' pictures on social media than about your personal feelings. Most times their excuse is going to be that they just kind of like everybody's pictures on Instagram, and that's fine because you only brought it up once, but now he should have no problem putting your feelings as a priority and making an effort to not like those pictures. Once it's addressed, it is so easy to not click like on specific pictures, so if he continues to do so, he's blatantly disrespecting your feelings. And to the guys that say it's just social media, it's not that big of a deal. If it's not that big of a deal, then why don't you just stop fucking liking those pictures? I always like to say that guys need to be trained in the sense of they don't know exactly what your boundaries are, so sometimes you need to express those boundaries. But if you express those boundaries and they don't decide to partake in those boundaries, then maybe it's time to find a different boyfriend. Your boyfriend should never make you feel insecure or uncomfortable when it comes to other girls. This request is so minimal. If they're not willing to work with you on it, they literally do not respect you. This exactly applies to following random girls on Instagram too. I'm not dating someone who's a fan of another girl. To each their own. This is just my thought process on it. And this is the final makeup look. Love you guys.
All right, I'm just going to quickly nitpick at girls that do their makeup on TikTok while explaining stuff. It drives me fucking insane to the point that I don't even watch the... If you hadn't shown me that, the minute they start doing that, I turn the video off.
What?
I just can't stand it. Do your makeup off camera and then start talking. It drives me out the wall. I'm trying to listen to the video and I'm being taken out of focus by the fact that you've put what looks to be an African skin color on your forehead and now you're meshing it in.
Yeah, you're definitely nitpicking 100%.
Yeah, that's a personal thing. Girls that do their makeup on TikTok whilst giving advice, whether the advice is good or not, I just click off it. I cannot stand it. That's just a personal thing. In terms of what she spoke about, I mostly agree with her. This is coming from experience. So I've been in a relationship and been dismissive of my partner saying don't do X, Y, and Z, and not really understanding. And obviously, there's always room to grow. Like I've said before, we spoke about that girl that I stood up, but I just drove off. You know, I wouldn't ever sit here and pretend to be holier than thou. I've definitely done things where I look back on it now and I'm like, that was really dumb. And because I'm a very stubborn person and I'm very disagreeable, when someone tells me not to do something, immediately I'm like, no.
Well, I'm going to do it, yeah.
Not now that I'm going to do it. Now I'm going to question every single reason for why. You have to see if what you are saying makes sense and if I can poke holes in it, which is not good to do in a relationship.
No, because if you're the sort of person that if you tell a woman something, you'd want her to understand where you're coming from and to some extent listen.
Yeah, I mean, if she questioned me because of the way I am, I would indulge in the questions to drive home my point. But I can understand how tiring it is to deal with somebody that's doing it to you. So that's me from experience. And from experience, I could say it's probably not a good idea to be liking other girls' pictures. The only exceptions I'd make, and the exception I would also make for my partner, is like we have friends that are like models or actors or whatever, and if they reach out to me and they say, hey, could you boost my picture or whatever, I would consult my girlfriend and be like, listen, this is the reason. But I wouldn't go around liking half naked pictures anymore. Like, I don't think that's a good idea. Where she's saying that you need to train men X, Y, and Z, this is women do this just as much. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. This is just something that people do in a relationship, and it's definitely something that needs to be spoken about.
Well, the conversation wasn't about girlfriends, it was about boyfriends.
Yeah, but what she's saying, the way she worded it was like she made out like men are doing it. And
She was just talking about in men's terms. Yeah, very well, women might be doing it as well, but that wasn't the point she was getting at.
well, that's the point I'm getting at. She can have her point. I've got mine. Go on.
Well, so I get it. The whole point she's getting at. When I was younger, I was in a relationship with this guy, and he used to like a lot of girls' pictures on Instagram or whatever. And then I'd notice how there would be certain girls' pictures who he didn't like. And I must have flagged something up to him before about it. And he was like, well, why am I going to like a picture if I don't like the picture? Basically saying, if I don't think that this girl looks good, why am I going to like her picture? Or if I think she's ugly, why am I going to like it? So when he said that, immediately I was like, okay, so that means that the ones you're liking, that means you actually like that picture. Like what she said in the video, you like what you see. So then for me, it was coming from a different place of, wow, you actually like that. That's why you're liking it. More so than just you've got all your female friends and you're liking the pictures. Because I think for me, if my man was liking pictures of friends that he's got and had before I came along, they're like sexy kind of pictures, yeah, I might not like it, but I'm not gonna get all in a hump about it.
Well, if they're previous to you,
if he knew them from, no, if they're friends from before, not like girls he may have used to talk to or girls that was just added him whilst he was single. Like, I'm talking friends. If it's random girls that he doesn't know, or you know, girls he's had a past with, or even new girls who he's not following, then I'd have a problem with it, because I'd be like, why are you doing this? There's no need to do that. But I'm not the sort of person that's going to say you can't like any girl's pictures on Instagram, because it's blowing things out of proportion. But at the same time, I think there should be a level of respect. And I do see it as, when you're in a relationship, you shouldn't really feel bothered about these other people, or even sort of giving them that. Because there is a lot of girls out there that will be like, oh my God, like her boyfriend's pictures, liking my pictures. And they will look down on the other girl and laugh. And it's like, there's no need to do that, because there probably is no meaning behind that like.
Yeah, most of the time there probably isn't that much meaning behind it.
There's not, because there might be certain guys who might like my picture who are single, and I might think to myself, oh, maybe he's interested, but really he's not. He's just liked my picture just for the sake of it. I've had guys go on my page and like my pictures and not even follow me and not message me, so it makes the like pointless. Like, what was the point in that? And there's no further meaning or ulterior motive behind it. So it is just social media. But I do find that whenever guys are flagged up about it, they get on a half like, oh, I'm just going to delete Instagram anyway. And it's like, chill, just take on board what she's saying and keep it moving. You don't need to be all dramatic like, I'm going to delete Instagram and then have the cheek to say girls are emotional.
I think that it depends on your partner. Like, you should know the kind of person you're with and how they behave around other people. And that would obviously come from first-hand experience, or like being around them for a certain period of time. You'd get an understanding of what kind of person they are. If I had a partner and I was liking your pictures, I'm not liking them because I am trying to get your attention for something. I'm liking them because we're good friends. And I'm just showing some support. But if you had somebody that you were friends with, but they've kind of given off the impression that they might try a thing, and they've got a partner, then I could see where the problem would be. So it's really understanding who you're with.
Do you think, though, that if in a relationship, I don't think you should like half naked pictures? So, for example, if a man was on holiday in just swimming shorts with his body out, posting a first trap, I don't think the girl should like it. And I think if a girl was on holiday posting a bikini picture, or maybe in some cases underwear pictures like some women do, I don't think the guy should like it, because it is essentially you are liking something of someone who is half naked when you're in a relationship. Yeah,
no, I hear that. And again, I would say that, like, because of especially because of all the disagreeable people I know, I've seen that happen multiple times. I put myself in that bracket. I think when you're young and inexperienced, you don't really take on board, but social media is our world now. So it's not really any different than saying, hey, I like what I see to someone's face.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I guess I hear what she's saying.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. I think you shouldn't do that in a relationship, period. The only time I would make concessions for it is, let's say you were super fat and then you posted a transformation picture. Then I'd be like,
that's a gym picture.
Yeah, my like is different. Purely to support how you've gone from looking like Lizzo to looking like Margot Robbie, right? That it wouldn't be because I'm thirsting over you. So I think you need to look at each situation and assess it, and then also look at who you're dating. Is this person I'm with, they're harmless? Is it just a harmless thing, or do they move in nefarious ways?
Yeah, it would depend on their past as well, because there's a lot of guys who, well, I'm not going to say guys, there's a lot of people who do get together or meet up through social media as well. And often it does start with a like of a picture.
Yeah.
Like there was this one guy that I was dating a few years ago, and I met him when I was out a couple of times, but we never really spoke and connected then. And then we found each other on Instagram. He followed me, I followed him back. He liked some of my pictures, I liked some of his. And I'm talking, we both went down each other's pages and liked old pictures.
Oh yeah.
Then lo and
They're
behold,
giving you a sign at that point.
lo and behold, he messaged me. We started talking, and then we eventually started dating. And then during the time that we were dating, this was when Instagram used to have that following page, you know, where you go onto it and you can see the pictures people have liked and
that
stuff.
Page caused so many problems. When it disappeared, I remember Snoop Dogg was like crip walking everywhere.
Do you know what? I think that was the best thing they could have done, getting rid of that. But I would often see him going on to other new girls' pages, liking loads of their old pictures, and I flagged it up to him. I was like, why are you doing this? Like, are you still open to talking to other people? He was like, no, I'm just focused on you. I was like, okay, so what is your need for doing this then? Because if you think back, that's how me and you started. So for me now, I've got my backup, because if that's how we started, you could be starting that with someone else. So either you want to keep your options open and talk to multiple people, or you just want to stay with me alone. And I said to him, if you want to talk to other people, that's fine, but tell me so I can leave, because I'm not going to be involved in that. I'm not up for doing that. And for so long he was like, no, like I'm not doing that. And then he kept on and kept on and kept on and kept on doing it. So eventually I was just like, look, this is not going to work, because I don't trust you. Maybe I got trust issues and I projected it on him. I don't know, but I didn't. Why would I want to be with someone that's constantly just looking at other women and trying to get their attention?
Well, it's your boundary, right? You're entitled to your boundary, whatever it is, whether people agree or disagree. You're entitled to want that in a relationship, and the other person doesn't have to agree with you either. It's not to say one of you is right or wrong. It's just that's what you require, and he wasn't fulfilling it. So, relationships are a lot of like trial and error. And sometimes you look back on things and you're like, why the hell did I do that? And sometimes you look back on it and you're like, I overreacted. Like I said, with liking pictures and the way people move on social media, you really need to pay attention to the person that you're with and not try to apply what you see with other people to them and just deal with it on an individual basis. If you're with somebody that is very reserved and quiet, and then all of a sudden they are just liking girls' pictures at random, and you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on? It's very out of the blue. And I think if you're with somebody and you've set your boundaries and then they start violating them, then you have every right to get upset about it. And they might not see it in the moment, but hopefully through reflection, they'll probably understand where you're coming from. The like isn't so much of a big deal. It's more just your partner expressing that they're uncomfortable with something and you taking on board with what they're saying. And like I said, it comes through experience. Some people don't know how to be in a relationship and they don't learn until it's too late. And some people understand what's going on, but they're just being extremely dismissive for whatever reason. So I don't know. I agree with most of what she's saying. If I was with a girl, if I got with a girl who was like, she had loads of guys on her Instagram, not anyone that she slept with, just people that she knows, and they were like posting topless pictures, I wouldn't care personally. They're people that she knew before me. As long as she's not fooling around and fawning over their pictures, it's not going to bother me. If she started then adding randoms that were like posting topless pictures, people I've never seen before, then I'm going to be like, well, what's going on here? I ain't got a problem with my girl making new friends, but the kind of person that I want to be with, I don't think I would have to worry too much with them associating with others, because I'm not one of those guys that's interested in going into a club and trying to turn, as they say, a hoe into a housewife, right? I'm not going to meet someone that is wearing the exact opposite of what I want my, let's say, wife to wear, and then start complaining. So I'm not going to be looking in those avenues to get into those fights. Do you know what I mean?
To a certain extent.
Yeah, like if I want to meet a nice, modest girl, I'll go to a place where that's what I perceive to be nice and modest, like church, for example, right? You're probably going to more likely to meet a modest girl in there. I'm not going to go to a club in Soho looking for my next wife, or my first wife.
But it's not to say that all girls that go out to clubs are going to be no good.
No, I'm not saying that at
You
all.
know what
I'm
I'm
just saying by my standards. Let's say, for example, because I don't like clubbing. I'm not interested in clubbing. The kind of girl that I want to be with is not going to be interested in clubbing either. I wouldn't get with a girl that's into clubbing and then try to convert her. I don't think that's fair. I would get with a girl that's not really into it. And she's more into what I'm into. But if my girl started randomly going out dressed like some of the girls in the clubs in the areas that I don't like, I'm going to have a problem with it. But if I got with her and she was already out clubbing, then I'm the idiot in that situation.
Yeah,
so.
you can't. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It depends on who you get with, and you shouldn't try to apply the standards that other people have in their relationships to your own. You should just look at it and be like, is my partner a piece of shit or are they harmless, you know? And are they stepping over my boundaries or am I overreacting? So
That's all I really have to say.
yeah, you sure nothing you want to add? Can't stand people that do makeup on TikTok. Pisses me right off.